Hi guys, I'm the CGA, and today I'll be attempting a Pokemon Omega Ruby Hardcore Nuzlocke with a One Piece themed team. I know, huge shocker that the guy who makes Pokemon videos likes anime. One Piece is definitely my favorite, and with episode 1000 dropping last week, I thought what better time for an anime themed Nuzlocke. For those who don't watch, there are 10 members of the Straw Hat Pirates who are the main characters in the show. Before I start, let me know in the comments down below if you watch One Piece. If you do, who's your favorite character and what Pokemon do you think they'll be? Make sure to watch till the end to see the final team. The rule set I'll be using is the standard for hardcore Nuzlockes, which is on the screen now. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and now let's become King of the Pirates. We start our journey in Little Root Town, and much like the protagonist Luffy, we don't really know our dad. We venture out into the world and get the captain of our crew, Chimchar. If you didn't see this coming, then I don't know what to tell you. The man's last name is literally Monkey. Nothing too exciting happens until we make it to Rust Turf Tunnel to catch the next member of our team, Usopp. I think the best Pokemon to represent him would have been either Rowlet or Sobble, but I had decided Luffy would be the only starter I would get, and Whismur still feels like it fits his character. At the level cap of 14, Luffy evolves into Monferno and we're ready to take on Roxanne. After spamming Mach Punch, Geodude and Nosepass go down and we've got our first gym badge. The devs left this in as a joke, right? After rescuing Pico, Mr. Briny takes me to Dewford Town where I grind the team up and get ready to take on Brawly. What's going on here? Anyway, Brawly's Machop only gets a bulk up off before going down to 2 Embers from Luffy. Then his Makihita comes in, who only hits a not very effective knockoff before dying to 2 more. After delivering the letter to Steven, Mr. Briny takes us to Slateport where we meet Maxie. Ha, nerd. Something doesn't feel right about this. Before battling May on Route 110, Usopp evolves into Loudred, which is a nice little upgrade. Now onto the battle. She opens with Shroomish, who lives a Flame Wheel and Stun Spores Luffy. His held Cherry Berry cures the paralysis, and next turn we kill the mushroom with a Mach Punch. Then Marsh Stomp comes in, so I switch to Usopp, who takes a decent chunk from Mud Shot. Loudred has Echoed Voice, which is a move that gains 40 base power each turn it's used in succession. After a few clicks of that and some luck landing all of them after Mud Slap accuracy drops, we're able to take down the starter and all May is left with is Slugma. I go back to Luffy, who's tickled by Ember, and after a Mach Punch and a Fury Swipes, we walk away with a win. I thought the level cap for Watson would be the same as the original games at 23, so I wasn't concerned when Luffy got to 22 here. By the time I realized the cap was 21, both my Pokemon were at 22, so I manually went in and lowered their levels. Sorry about that, but I thought it was the best solution. Speaking of Watson, let's see how our battle with him goes. I bought the TM for Power Up Punch from the shop in Mauville, which Monferno uses to open this battle. Then a Cherry Berry shrugs off Thunder Wave. A second Power Up Punch puts us at +2 attack and drops Magnemite. Voltorb is next, who hangs on through a Power Up Punch, and after a heal I kill it with 2 Mach Punches. Last is Magneton, who dies to a +3 Flame Wheel, getting us the Dynamo badge. From here we start making our way to Fall Arbor Town. I edited the game so that Pokemon who usually wouldn't be available until I can use the National Dex Nav were available now. In Fiery Path, we encounter our next crew member, Sanji. We learn that Professor Cosmo has been kidnapped and brought to Meteor Falls by Team Magma, so we go to rescue him. We make easy work of Admin Tabitha and a grunt here as Team Aqua's Archie comes to stir the pot. While grinding Sanji up, he evolves into his final form, and now I can make my way to the top of Mount Chimney to battle Fatso again. At least he's getting a bit of a workout in. Oh god, please keep your eyes closed. Sanji leads off with a bulk up, but Clear Smog from coughing brings him back to neutral. Then after a Power Up Punch, another Clear Smog connects. This time I go for Rock Tomb, and coughing uses... Great. Sanji tanks the self-destruct and lives on 1. What an absolute legend. I switch Usopp into a Lava Plume from Numel, who gets a burn. Realizing I won't be able to live another, I bring in Luffy and hope for no ground type moves. Good, Amnesia on the switch. Now I use a Power Up Punch as Numel goes for Lava Plume over Magnitude. A second punch isn't enough for the kill, but I guess the AI is super dumb as it uses Lava Plume again. Now Luffy is able to safely knock the camel out with Mach Punch, giving us the win. But remember, that was just Tabitha. Let's see how our first battle with Maxie goes. Luffy leads off with a -1 Power Up Punch for about a quarter of Mightyana's health as it uses the not very effective Assurance. The next one just isn't enough to get the kill, but this lets Monferno get to +2 attack when Camerupt comes in. Unfortunately, this thing has Earth Power, so I swap into my Special Wall Hitmonlee, but am actually met with Amnesia. Next I use Fake Out to get some free damage down. Power Up Punch does solid damage as Earth Power connects for less than half. One more punch to the face knocks Camerupt out, leaving Maxie with only a Golbat. Usually I'd be scared of this, but I taught Hitmonlee Rock Tomb, and at +2 attack it's easily a one-shot. Look out Maxie, Tabitha's coming for your job. After Team Magma leaves, we can progress to Lava Ridge Town where I get an egg from this old lady. I decide to hatch it and oh look, it's Frankie. This guy is a cyborg who doubles as the shipwright of the crew, and if you don't think he looks like Golett, just wait until he evolves. With the whole team at level 28, it's time for Flannery. Frankie immediately starts earning his keep around here as a magnitude 7 kills Slugma to start. Then he connects an 8 against Torkoal as it sets up the sun. Even though Flannery heals, another 8 comes out and crits to kill the turtle. Last is Nummel, who dies to a magnitude 5, and that's a clean sweep for our bro. I waste no time getting back to Petalburg to take on Norman for my next gym badge. I lead with Sanji against the first slacking and Power Up Punch for around 40% as I get yawned. At +1 attack I can kill with a second as Sanji's Chesto Berry wakes him up from the effects of yawn. Vigoroth can't stand up to my attack at +2, and finally the last slacking comes in. Shockingly, it lives a +4 Power Up Punch and swaggers Hitmonlee. In order to avoid potentially killing myself, I swap into Luffy as Norman heals. On the Truant turn, I Power Up Punch to get my attack up. Chip Away hits for big damage, but now because of Truant, I can hit a +2 and +3 attack before I'd get hit again. This is just enough time to kill the lazy monster and claim the balance badge. Wally's dad gives me the HM for Surf, which reminds me I never went west of Mauville to Verdanturf Town. I backtracked there to clear the rocks in the tunnel, and on Route 117 add a member to the crew I should have added a long time ago, Chopper. This little guy is a reindeer and the doctor of the crew. He can change his body type to fit different situations based on the most effective way to battle. If you don't think Deerling and Sawsbuck are the perfect fit for Tony Chopper, then you need to get your head examined. On Route 118 I get the Good Rod and can fish myself up another crew member, Jinbei. Being a shark, I thought Sharpedo would be a great fit for this powerhouse. I know I used an M instead of an N in his name, but I changed it at the name raider down the line. One of my favorite additions to these remakes is the whole scene with Latios and Latias. Steven and I massacre Courtney and this magma grunt, and then Latios joins the team. Oh, it's Zoro. Well, a Scyther is still pretty cool, I guess. Zoro is a green-haired swordsman who's famous for his 3-sword style. I know he only has 2 blades, but Scyther is the closest Pokemon we've got to Luffy's right-hand man. Why not keep this recruitment train moving? At the Weather Institute, we get the gift cast form, so now we have our navigator Nami. She uses a magic staff to control weather, so there's no better fit for her than this little girl. Next, I grind Carvana up until it evolves and keep moving. On the way to Four Tree City, May challenges me to a battle, but we deal with her without any issues. Now I can progress to Route 120 and get the Devon Scope from Steven. Wait a second, my Kecleon encounter is a full odd shiny? The run is blessed. Sadly, I can't use him, so he has to die. With that excitement out of the way, it's time to take on Winona. Castform gets her debut as she sets up Hail and Swellow uses a double team. Next turn we outspeed and connect a Weather Ball for a kill. Skarmory is next, so I go to Sharpedo who gets Sand attacked. After missing Surf, Sand gets kicked in Jinbei's eyes again, but he lands his next one. Skarmory barely holds on, but after an Aerial Ace, our Rough Skin takes it down. Winona's ace, Altaria, comes out, but Sharpedo outspeeds for an Ice Fang kill. Pelipper annoyingly protect and roost stalls, but we eventually get the KO by going back to Nami and weatherballing in the hail. On my way to Lily Cove City, we stop by Route 121 to get another crewmate, Robin the Apom. What better Pokemon to represent her than the one with giant hands for tails, Ambipom. Before heading to Mount Pyre, Luffy evolves into Infernape and we set off. Here we add our final crew member, Brook the Duskull. I feel like Dusclops would be the kind of Pokemon to use his signature line.
Could you perhaps show me your panty?
Unfortunately, I'm too late to stop Maxie. Side note, I love how in this game they actually made the evil team take the correct colored orb. After beating Courtney again, I'm given the blue orb and chase the leader to Slateport. Again, I'm too late as Captain Stern's submarine gets stolen, so my chase leads me to Team Magma's hideout in Lily Cove. I'm stopped by Courtney yet again as she buys enough time for the sub to depart for the seafloor cavern. Before I can continue with the wild goose chase, I need to make a stopover in Moss Deep City. I grind the team up to level 42 and 43 where we have a lot of evolutions. Frankie, Robin, Brook, Chopper, and Usopp all reach their final stages, and with that the crew is at full power. Even though I'm a little under the level cap here, I decided to take on Tate and Liza since our next cap is only one level higher and I don't want to accidentally overlevel before it's time for Wallace. This fight is a double battle, so I bring the very bulky Brook with Jinbei so I can surf and not worry about killing my own mom. The combo of Surf and Shadow Sneak is enough to kill Lunatone as Solrock sets up a sunny day. On the heal, I use another Shadow Sneak and Surf combo, but it doesn't get the kill because I somehow managed to already forget that the sun is up, which weakens Surf's power. I'm able to get the KO next turn after a Shadow Sneak and a Crunch, earning us our 7th badge. Upon leaving the gym, there's a large tremor and a beam shoots up into the sky. Steven takes me to his house and gives me the HM for dive so I can go confront Maxie one last time at the seafloor cavern. Before awakening Groudon, he challenges me to another battle, and this time the stakes are high. Jinbei opens with a dive for an Oko on Mightyena, but can someone tell me where exactly he's diving? All I see is lava. Then Weezing comes out and I make a pro play switching to Golurk as it explodes for no damage. Crobat is next and it hits 2 acrobatics for solid damage before being taken down by 2 heavy slams. Last is Maxie's camera up, so I bring in Hitmonlee as he Mega Evolves and misses Rock Slide. After a fake out, I swap back to Jinbei who gets yawned. Doesn't matter since next turn I outspeed and pick up the win with a 4 times effective Surf. Well, he's gone and done it now. Groudon gets awakened and the world is in chaos. I rush over to Sutopolis where I get the Magma Suit from Maxie, so now I can ride Groudon. Is it just me or does Archie want to date me? Look at me, mom, no hands! Now in the Inner Sanctum, I march right up to Groudon and chuck a Master Ball. I ran the calcs on this and Precipice Blades one-shots every Pokemon I have, so I'm not gonna even attempt to fight this thing. Another beam shoots into the sky and everything goes back to normal. Time to finish off the last gym. Usually Wallace is a tough battle, but lucky for me I have Chopper. I Oko his entire team with Horn Leeches and now we can move on to Victory Road. Of course, right before we make it to the league, Wally is waiting to challenge us one last time. Jinbei starts us off strong with an Ice Fang to kill Altaria. Next is Roselia, so I bring Luffy into a Petal Blizzard which does basically nothing to him. Flame Wheel picks up the knockout, but unfortunately it leaves our captain poisoned. When Magneton hits the field, I bring in Golurk who tanks a Flash Cannon. Earthquake activates Sturdy as the conglomerate of magnets lives on 1 HP and connects another Flash Cannon. Frankie kills with Power Up Punch and then crits another against Delcatty for his 2nd KO. Last is Wally's Mega Gallade, but at +2 attack and getting the boost from Iron Fist, I'm easily able to win the battle with a Shadow Punch. All that's left now is to face the Elite Four and the champion. Here's the team I'll be bringing. I allow myself to use rare candies between each member of the Elite Four in order to match the levels of their aces. This means the last trainer I'll be able to edge my EXP against is Sydney, the Dark-type user. He leads Mightyena as I send out Hitmonlee. After a fake out for guaranteed damage, I start mashing Power Up Punch. My first one actually gets a crit to take the Hound out. Shiftry is next, who can only get 1 fake out off before meeting the same fate. The rest of Sydney's Pokemon also die to Power Up Punch, with the only additional damage being done by Sharpedo's Rough Skin and Cacturne's Spiky Shield. 1 member down, 4 to go. Next up is Phoebe, the Ghost Specialist. I lead Golurk, who hits her Dusclops with a Heavy Slam for around 60%. Dusclops tries to confuse Frankie, but his Personberry shakes it off. Next turn, a Shadow Punch takes the Mummy down and Sableye comes in. Stab Foul Play with Golurk's attack stat will Oko me, so I switch into Nami, who takes the attack pretty well. Then after a Rain Dance, a 2nd Foul Play brings her down to the red. Next turn, she outspeeds the Ghost and kills it with Weather Ball. When Dusknoir comes out, it's right back to Golurk, who's unaffected by Thunder Punch. Then I use Heavy Slam to get it into KO range, as a super effective Ice Punch does about 1/3 of my health. Shadow Punch picks up the kill on Dusknoir as well as her 2 Bayonets, so now it's time to move on to my arch nemesis, Glacia. Sanji opens with a Power Up Punch as Glalie sets up the Hail. Then a 2nd hit takes the Ice Ball down and Frostless comes in. Not wanting to take any chances with Snowcloak, I bring in Cast Form, whose Personberry snaps her out of confusion. Then I change the weather to Sunlight as Frostless connects an Ominous Wind for some chip. Weather Ball gets the kill and now her ace Walrein comes in. I know it seems like a bad switch, but with the sun up I can safely go to Infernape, who takes less than half from a Surf. Now a Mach Punch does around 1/4 of the Walrus's health as a 2nd Surf leaves Luffy with 7 HP. Since my monkey is speedy, there's no worries that it'll die as he close combats for a kill. Glacia's 2nd Frostless comes out next, but I'm still faster as Flamethrower melts the Snowland Pokemon. Glacia's last Pokemon is her 2nd Glalie, which has priority Ice Shard. Since I don't want Luffy to die, I switch back into Hitmonlee to tank it. Not realizing this Glalie has inner focus, I fake out, but it still gets Hail up. After a protect, Hail damage brings Sanji down to 35 HP. Ice Shard comes out and miraculously Hitmonlee lives on 1 health for the second time this run and connects a Brick Break for the win. Now it's time for the last Elite Four member, Drake and his dragons. The only Pokemon on his team I'm really afraid of is Kingdra, since I have Castform's combo of Hail and Weather Ball to deal with everything else. For some reason he saves Kingdra for last, so as the Hail stops I switch Castform out to Sanji, who gets yawned. I switch a few times between Hitmonlee and Sharpedo before deciding it's best to get some damage off with Jinbei and let him go to sleep. Crunch does half to the Sea Dragon as it fires off a powerful Dragon Pulse that brings Sharpedo low. Now that I'm asleep, I don't need to worry about yawn, so I can bring Sanji in, who takes Dragon Pulse a lot better. I fake out for guaranteed damage, and next turn outspeed and kill with Power Up Punch. With each member of the Elite Four down, the only obstacle left for me to face is Steven Stone. I lead Castform and set up Rain as his Skarmory connects with Toxic. I know Rain seems like an odd choice, but I couldn't set up Sun or else my Sharpedo's water type attacks would have been weakened. A Mystic Water boosted Weather Ball activates Sturdy as Steven uses Spikes. Despite a full restore coming out, we're able to finish the Steel Bird with 2 more Weather Balls and Cradily comes in. Now it's time for Nami to leave the crew. She fires off her last Weather Ball as Cradily sucks the life out of her with Giga Drain. Since Nami was already at low health, Cradily doesn't recover much, but now it's not in healing range. That means I'm able to bring in Hitmonlee and click Fake Out for a little damage and then kill with Power Up Punch to get to +1. Claydoll's next, and anticipating an extra sensory, I go to Jinbei. Unfortunately, he sets up Reflect and Sharpedo is a physical attacker. Waterfall still ends up being a 2-hit kill as Claydol hits an Earth Power, dropping my special defense. Now Almaldo comes out, and since my plan is to preserve Sharpedo for Mega Metagross, I switch back to Sanji. X-Scissor does about half the health I have left as I use Fake Out to stall out the last Reflect turn. I Brick Break for over half as Armaldo hits Crush Claw, meaning I sadly need to say goodbye to Hitmonlee. He put in so much legwork throughout this run, and don't know if we would have made it out of some of the early Magma battles without his high special defense stat. At least you can go to where Nami is, buddy. Frankie comes in to avenge his friend as I decide to use Power Up Punch to get the attack boost. The responding X-Scissor does around 30%, and next turn Steven heals as I get to +2 attack. From here, Earthquake takes the fossil down and Aggron comes in, who survives one thanks to Sturdy. Iron Tail brings Golurk low and gets the defense drop, but he kills with another Power Up Punch to get to +3. Last is that Mega Metagross, but in absolute insane fashion, Golurk's Quick Claw pops, allowing him to move first and kill with a +3 Earthquake. My plan was actually to sack Golurk, bring in Sharpedo for a crunch and sack him, and then finish this battle with an Infernape Flamethrower, so this works so much better. Not that anyone should have doubted them, but the Straw Hat Pirates had what it took to make it through an Omega Ruby Hardcore Nuzlocke. How many crew members were you able to accurately predict the Pokemon counterparts for? Are there any that you think I could have done better? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below, and tell me if you'd like to see more anime-themed Nuzlockes. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, any challenge can be beaten if you just use your head.